Hey, it's Pika over here in Singapore, and it is the Night Owl episode 138. Man, every time I say that, every time I think about, how many episodes I've done, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. And no, it's not professional sounding, and no, it's not all like, done up. This is live and just simple as hell. And I'm happy to do it. I'm so happy to do it. So basically, it is Saturday morning, because it's 1 in the morning over here. But this is the podcast for Friday night, and I am happy with the way the day went. I woke up super early at about 6 o'clock in the morning and made brownies. Brookies to be exact, because it's like a cookie layer on the bottom and then it's brownies on top. So yeah, I was actually really proud of myself. I should have done it the night before. I'm not really good about, waking up early, but somehow I managed to wake up early and it worked out. So I made that. I had a conference call at 7:30. Great information from my girl Cheryl, who was able to give me a little more direction. She asked questions, I asked questions. That's how it works. We do really well together. Our energies really just like light each other up, and it's just fireworks. I'm excited. Anyway, so I have a little more direction about my own business, and I got some stuff I need to go ahead and put into practice now. So that come the new year, it becomes easier. It's easy at that point, and then I can add new things. So that is the plan. I'm not going to tell you what all it is, because I want to do it and then tell you. So then I can actually say, yeah, I did it, instead of putting something out there that I don't know if I'm able to do or not. I just want to go ahead and do it first. You know what I mean? So, went to work, came home from work, picked a little bit up, ran home, changed clothes, picked up the brownies out the oven, because I let it to cool in there. And then we walked down to my uncle's house, had a little Christmas party with all the little cousins. And let's see. From there, we walked back home, dropped everything off, changed clothes, went out to Clark Key. And yes, I dragged my little one with me. Now, the reason being, I am now involved in a great new enterprise, which deals with music. And all of my close contacts and friends are in the club business or are DJs. So I felt the need to show my face again, especially when I found out that my favorite DJ is actually spinning at my favorite club. So I figured, let me go kill two birds with one stone, go see them all, remind them that I exist, basically, water that friendship a little bit, and take care of my network. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, the network. I think I talked to you about community before and how it takes a village to raise a child, and I really believe that, people should come together over a cause and support each other. Now, in a variation of that same concept, I want to talk to you about networking. For me, because of my background, because I've moved all over the world, I've lived everywhere. Most people go to places on vacation. I freaking end up living there. It's not a bad thing. It's just different. And it was terrible growing up, because all I wanted to do was fit in. All I wanted to do was find my place in high school, and I ended up being the nobody, the wallflower for most of my life. I was one picked on. I was one they came to for homework, but other than that, they didn't know I existed. Now, I wish there was a glow up story like, She's All That or The Duff, but nope, I didn't get all that. Because I didn't grow up with any of those people, and I was always the new girl. So, because of that experience, I learned to be friendly. I learned how to make friends. I learned how to meet new people. I learned how to introduce myself, to do icebreakers, to watch people before I go approach them, so that, I have something to talk about, basically. So, for me, networking comes fairly easily. I am both an introvert and an extrovert. I do need my own space to be able to kind of recuperate and get back to normal. But for the most part, I'm pretty extroverted. I do love a good party. I do love great music. I do love talking to people about movies and music. I do that all damn day long. I could have whole podcasts about movies. But the point is, I feel like that is a talent that has been lost throughout the generations. People don't have time for people anymore. If you don't send a text message and get a reply back in the next 5 seconds, you tend to get pissed off and be like, oh, well, fine, I guess you're not, you don't feel me or whatever. People have lost the the art of conversation. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to talk to each other anymore. It's like if there isn't a moderator, mediator, a facilitator of some sort, people don't know how to talk to each other, man. Like, obviously, Tinder is out there and you know exactly what you're going to get if you get on Tinder. That's the whole point of that whole damn platform. You're trying to get hooked up with somebody, right? Um, if you're on Instagram, you're trying to get likes, you're trying to get comments, you're trying to get shares. So people know what they're trying, like what the end goal is. Whereas in a conversation, there really is no end goal. You just striking up conversation. You're getting to know people. Um, or they're good at starting off, but they don't know how to hold a conversation. They don't know how to continue a conversation. They don't know how to close a conversation and pick it back up later. People have lost the art of conversation, and it's really upsetting to me. It's really sad. I can start up a conversation with pretty much anyone, and the only problem I have is I meet so many people, I can't keep up with all of their details. It's like I need a notebook so that I can actually, when I come back and talk to them, I can actually feel like I'm contributing to their life instead of asking the same questions every time I see them because I've forgotten. Um, but yeah, I love meeting new people. I love talking to them about what they love. I know how to open people up one on one. I I don't know. Lately it's been energy driven though. I tend to gravitate toward people who have the same kind of vibes as I do. I gravitate towards people who seem to need a conversation, and then from there it just blossoms into I don't know what. It's kind of interesting actually, because I think Cheryl and I kind of met that way too. I think she reached out with something very simple, and I reached back and talked to her for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like lights went off, and I was like, wow, you know what? She is going to be an amazing asset to me because she speaks life the way I speak life, and she's on the level. Like, she is thinking the same way I'm thinking just before I say it out loud. So that's the amazing thing about me and Cheryl. Vanessa and I pushed each other to be better. She and I started way back in the beginning of this whole Crown for Success thing, and I feel like we connected really well on our coaching call, and then we've just kind of held each other accountable, pushed each other to be better, used each other as sounding boards. It's like I can be me around her, and I know she won't judge me, and she feels the same way about me. So I love that we have that kind of dynamic. It's very, very helpful to me. Um, with John. John is my friend. He's like my best friend in Singapore. I met him when I was out with my cousin and my brother once. I think it was like three years ago, maybe. My cousin was in town from London. She wanted to go out, and we were like, yeah, let's go to Zouk. Little did I know at the time, Zouk was nowhere near where it is now. It was not in Clark Key. It was somewhere else. I couldn't even tell you where it was. But we went off looking for Zouk because somebody said, yeah, it's in this particular position in Clark Key. Well, we found the spot, but obviously it wasn't Zouk. And we happened to run into John. And at that point, my cousin was already like just she was wasted. And he said, why don't you come into my club? Why don't you come sit down, take a load off or whatever, enjoy the music for a little bit, and I'll help you find whatever it is you're looking for. And we were like, all right, cool, I don't know you, but you seem pretty cool. Let's go sit down. Well, let's fast forward a little bit to the end of the night where he took us from one club to the other club that he also managed. He took care of my cousin the whole night. And seriously, he won friends for life. I've never had anyone take care of us the way he did. And it was not one of those like shisty, slimy kind of situations either. He was genuinely a good guy. He played bouncer for us. He played bodyguard for us. He like genuinely like took care of us. And I will never, ever forget that. So I really appreciate the fact that he did that. And so ever since, anytime I go out or want to go drinking or want to go dancing, the only place I go is to Lenoir in Clark Key because John is there. And for the most part, a lot of times when I go out, well, back when I did go out, it wasn't because I wanted to drink. It was because I just wanted to get out of my own head. I wanted to go be around people where nothing was expected of me. I could just stand there or dance or whatever it was and just enjoy the music. And he was one of those people who would let me do that. I I played bouncer a couple times at the club itself. I enjoy getting the party started. I enjoy just being around them. Just I can literally stand against the wall behind the DJ booth outside and just listen to the music the whole night, not bother nobody, you know, and just be totally happy. It's one of those places where I feel at home, and people, I mean, the bartenders and the service people will, stop by and say hey or whatever, and how are you, and check on me. But for the most part, I don't need nothing. I don't need a drink in my hand. I don't need people to feed me shots. None of that stuff. I'm there to kind of get out of my own head. And the music does that, the atmosphere does that, and for me to be a fly on the wall and just watch everybody, it really helps me. So for him to have let me do that means that he respects who I am, even if he doesn't understand why it is I do what I do, which is cool. And those are the kinds of people I need. Now, the other thing about John is he is also a DJ. He's been in the club scene for many, many, many years now in Singapore, and he knows pretty much everyone. So the fact that he considers me his sister is a big deal. And the fact that he will, if I ask him for anything, he'll put me on. I know he will. And that's the thing. I am here to create a network. I'm here to build friendships because I don't want to start off by asking you for something. That's not who I am. I want to get to know you first. I want to be your friend. And, I may not be able to ask you for it. There might not be anything that I need from you. There might be something that you need from me, which is fine too. But I'm there first and foremost to build a friendship. And I think that's really important. I think people are too quick to, let's contact an influencer and get him to do this for me. And let's, DM this person and see if they can like for like and follow for follow and all that crap. That's not who I am. I don't want to ask you for anything. I feel sheepish and guilty to ask you for anything. And that goes for any facet of my life. That's just who I am. I don't like asking for help. I will if I have to, but that's only after I've exhausted every other option. But in business, I feel like you need people that love you for who you are just because. And then, if they're able to offer something great, if not, that's fine too, but that's another person that you can use for word of mouth advertising. And that's something that I'm looking for with my brand. So for me, as I build this brand, I feel like talking to people, getting people to buy into who I am, if they like me, they'll do anything I ask. For the most part, within reason. Obviously, I'm not going to ask of the moon and the stars. I'm more than likely going to ask, hey, would you be interested in something like this? Like, it's more like market research, and they're willing to give me answers on it. And I think it's worked well for me so far. Like, I don't have a product to show or anything, but any idea that's occurred to me and I've been able to put in front of these people, they're like, yeah, okay, well, when are you going to do it? Let's go do this. I'm ready. Where do I... And they're ready to buy into it, and I love that. I love them for it. But that's what I think is important in a network. They're buying you. In the end, they're buying you. They're not buying your product. They're buying you. The guarantee that you give them, the feeling that you're saying that they'll get by having your product, like whatever it is, they're buying you. And I feel like I need to build the network. I need to create friendships. I need to create relationships where I help them to feel good about themselves, and they do the same for me in return. And that's how we all move forward. I don't want you because you can do something for me. That's not the kind of person I am. I want you around because I like who you are. You vibe with my vibe. You have the same values that I do, and that's enough for me. That's good enough. And then, somewhere along the line, if it becomes a situation where I have something to offer that I could ask you, hey, would you support this? Would you promote this? Would you, tell your friends about it, whatever? Then it works out. You know what I mean? So I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try, this is something I'm not used to. I'm going to attempt to take a nap, basically, because I need to be up in about 4 hours because I have another conference call lined up. Yes, no rest for the wicked, and I've got miles to go before I sleep, but I'm going to go ahead and sleep now. Let's see if I can't catch up later. Shot in the dark, but who knows? Maybe it'll work. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening. For all of you just, tuning in for the replay, thank you for taking the time. I can't tell you how much it means to me for you to even take 15-20 minutes out your day just to listen to me. And I'm hoping I bring you value. I'm hoping this really, helps your business somehow, or helps your life situation, so you feel like you're not so alone, that other people are going through this craziness as well. So like I said, I love you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Bye.